Yo, 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 it is episode 12 of the Chris and Kadie Show. I can't believe we are at number 12 already. We started in May, and we even missed a week, and we're already at 12.
I know. May doesn't seem that long ago, but 12 weeks seems like a long ass time.
You would think so, but yeah, May is 3 months ago now. That's nuts, so. But guys, we have a guest this week. It is my friend, Koolme666. And
Hello.
I've known Koolme a really long time. I started live streaming in 2018. And the very first game I started streaming was a game called H1Z1. And Koolme was also streaming H1Z1 at that time. And literally, we've known each other 6 months or 6 years. And I think that's the longest relationship you've ever had. Is that right?
I actually have known Ginormous a little over 8 years.
God damn it,
Yeah,
ginormous.
yeah,
Golly. So
yeah.
now I'm
I've
going to
been.
have to do some fucking Nancy Kerrigan to his ass. All right, I guess I can do second fiddle to ginormous. But we have a great show for you guys this week. We're going to get into our celebrity deaths here in a minute. I actually went back and double checked the celebrity deaths today, and I'm glad I did because there was a giant name that passed away a couple of days ago in the world of music, and I didn't even know about it until I double checked today. And so we're
Well,
going
I
to get
probably
into
didn't
that in a
know
minute.
either.
But before we do that, I do want to let everybody know that HyperX has sponsored this episode again. Thank you very much for that. And there will be a link in your description down below if you want to get some cool shit from HyperX. I highly implore you to do so. And if you are somebody out there that would like to sponsor the podcast, you can email us at the Chris and Kadie Show at gmail.com. I don't actually have the email on this overlay, but that's okay. But we have Koolme with us today, and I want to kind of promote him a little bit. First of all, the Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Koolme666. Tell us about the Twitch channel. What can people expect over there? And then we'll talk about the pod as well.
So I stream a lot of a variety of story games. Back in the day, it was a lot of battle royales and shooters. That's kind of what I adapted the channel to be at the time. Then it just grew into like the story-based games. I was missing a lot of story-based games out there. So I decided to, as I got older, I widened my variety and stop worrying about trying to be the best at a shooter and
Mm-hmm.
things like that, and started just being more chill and relaxed, and decided to dive into back into my story elements of games, and I try to keep it real and cool and chill as possible.
And
Very
positive, the positivity is,
positive.
yep.
Yeah, it's always positive. We could always talk about pretty much anything. Pretty open, I'm an open book, with my life and everybody else, who wants to get involved and share how their day's going, and just to be a place for people to escape reality for a little bit, and maybe I can entertain them and cure their depression, or try and make them happy for a little bit any way I can.
Yeah, because essentially we're
Um,
bartenders, right? Like
yeah,
we're bartenders. We're the psychologists, the psychiatrists. We're all of that. And man, you and I have been through some shit together, man. As far as mental health and always
right.
encouraging each other behind the scenes. A lot of people may not know that, but Koolme and I are like pillows, man. We support each other big time, especially in private.
Yeah.
Lot of advice given to you and from you, and probably my one of my most treasured friends, to be fair. And we've never met IRL either. Hopefully, we can make that happen someday. But
Hopefully one day, yeah.
we talked about positivity with the Twitch channel. Let's talk about the opposite of that with the podcast. Tell us
Yeah.
about Babble Mouth.
Yeah, it's very X-rated. I mean, we're very edgy. Yeah, I mean, we're not for everybody, that's for sure. But we try to keep the same thing, try to make people laugh, and just we're just a bunch of goofy fellas. And at first it started off a little, back in the day. This is our third like time trying it again, and the first time it was just a Nexus thing, and then he pulled me into it as like a guest, and then it started being inconsistent, and this is the most consistent we've been since. And now there's three of us, so we've been consistent with it. We try to talk about anything really, just gaming, what we did in the day or the week, month or whatever. We just try to keep it flowing. Sometimes it's hard making a podcast. Sometimes we run out of things to talk about.
Mm.
So that's why we kind of labeled it like, the Babble Mouth. We just kind of babble on about anything really, whatever comes to mind. And then if we happen to have topics, we'll bring up some topics for that day, or anything big, or we just kind of spitball and grab things here and there from the internets. And
And you guys are weekly, right? One episode a week?
one episode a week every Friday. We're in competition.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I think, Katie, we're gonna have to release on Tuesdays now. Just
We actually released the pod. We actually released the pod in the morning, so it works out. It works out because then we get to listen to you later on in the day. So,
So, Katie, do you have any questions for Koolme?
No, I've really been enjoying this. I feel like I'm okay. I feel like I'm watching a TV show. I'm just like, I feel like you two are like about to be butt buddies or something. Like I feel like I'm watching.
To
like,
be fair, we
children.
kind of are. I
feel like I'm watching like all my children, but I'm loving it.
believe me, I'm as tame as can be right now.
Also, I need to check out the podcast. That sounds like something I'd be all the way about.
Yeah, they come out. They come out every Friday. What platforms can people find Babble Mouth on? Do you know?
This is a running joke that we have. Anything but Pandora, because we have one viewer. We have one viewer of mine that's in my streams who only uses Pandora, which is not outdated, but they don't have podcasts.
Yeah.
It's a great app for radio and stuff like that, because it always suggests new things, better than Spotify can. But it's on everything but Pandora and YouTube, unless it might be on YouTube, unless there's podcasts on there. But I don't think so. I think we have to actually upload it to YouTube.
So a little bit of a trivia question to show how big of a dinosaur I am. Two things. Number one, I've been podcasting so long that Spotify didn't have podcasts when I started podcasting.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
And number two, shit, I'm old. I forgot what the number two was. But anyway, no, what the was I gonna say? I don't remember.
Oh, that was serious. I thought it was a joke. Damn, now I feel bad for you, dude.
No jokes yet. God damn. What the hell was I gonna say? It doesn't matter. It really, truly doesn't. No, I do remember. Koolme is the reason why this show is on Spotify. Did you guys know that?
My boy. No, I did not know that.
No, the reason when we started this, Katie, I told you this was going to be a YouTube only show.
Yeah.
But then Koolme and I were talking in my stream, and he said, well, a lot of people don't have premium on YouTube. And in order to watch or listen to a podcast on YouTube, you have to have premium in order to shut your phone off and still be able to listen. Mm-hmm. But you can do that on Spotify, even without premium. So in other words, you can load up a pod on Spotify, shut your phone off, and it still plays.
Also, I don't know if ours does it, but I know like Joe Rogan, like if you go look at his podcast and like you pull it up and like you like click on it like to listen to it, like it shows the video too.
Yeah, on Spotify. Yeah, I know. That's crazy too.
That is pretty cool.
When I found out you could do video on Spotify, I was like, holy crap, this is pretty cool.
It's just recent. It's just recent. Not maybe like within like the last year or so.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice until I was listening to a podcast and it had video format. Maybe like a year ago, they just like recently added it. And so it's pretty cool because when I'm driving, because I commute a lot. So for me, having the pod on Spotify was a big plus for me because it's just more convenient for me. Because I drive, a good portion of the day, and sit in a lot of traffic, so it works out for me. And the video form does go away in car mode, but I could still listen to the pod. Once I get out of car mode, the video pops up again. So it's really convenient.
So
also, cars for that. We can do shit if we want. If we want to risk we'll be risking other lives. But if we want to own, that is our problem. Okay.
It can be
Nobody is
disabled.
ever thinking about other people when they do that shit.
Just
But
so
I'm
everybody
saying,
knows, it can be disabled. It's
like
very
my
close.
mom tries to FaceTime me while I'm driving to show me something real quick, and my car's like, nope. Which
So,
fair.
just
but
for the
still.
record, I've seen her car, and her car actually does that head waggle when it says no
Nope.
as well. But anyway, if you are listening or viewing this on Spotify, you guys can thank Koolme for that. He's the reason why we're over there. So I just wanted to give him props for that. But anyway, let's get into the celebrity deaths of the week. Insert cool jingle here. No, not really.
Okay.
So we're going to start with July 16th. We are talking about the notable deaths in the world between the dates of July 16th and July 22nd. There's a few of them this week, and there's a lot of pretty big names here as well, especially on the 18th of July, sadly. But anyway, let's get into the 16th, where Joe Bryant, who is a 69-year-old American basketball player and coach from the 76ers, and the Clippers, died of a stroke. And I'm assuming it was the kind that happens in your head and not the kind that happens in your bathroom.
Which I'm all too familiar with.
Okay.
Me too. Anyway, J. Michael Klein, who was 64 years old, he was an American businessman and the founder of Fandango Media, died. I added this just because, okay, look. I added this for one reason, and that's because of how he died, because I have no idea who this person is. But he died, and I quote, of suicide from jumping. That's what it says on Wikipedia. His cause of death is suicide from jumping. And all I can think about is like Twitch redemptions where they make you jump and you're like 400 pounds and just have a heart attack or something. Like, how do you jump to death, right?
Maybe from a building.
That's called suicide from fall, Katie. That's the jump does not kill you. But anyway,
Still
apparently,
though,
yeah, he jumped from a building in New York City, I think, and so. But I just thought it was funny. I added it just because of the Wikipedia suicide
I
from
saw
jumping.
that, and I was like, why does it phrase it like that?
I
like, why is
phrased
it
it the
worded
way
like-
Wikipedia did, which is like, so when I'm trying to decide who makes this list, it's usually from notoriety or if I see something that I think we can make something funny about. And so when I saw suicide from jumping, there you go. Anyway, July 16th also met the end of Tom Fenton, who was a 94-year-old former American journalist from CBS
Damn, he's really
News.
pushing it.
94 years old as a journalist in this country. That's impressive.
Yeah,
No wonder it
he's
killed
fucking
him.
pushing it.
It doesn't say what killed him. I can give you a couple of clues, though.
Brain aneurysm, maybe.
No, he probably just quit breathing. July 17th is the day after the 16th. And I don't know how I got so many people for this day because none of these people have I ever heard of. But whatever. Bernice Johnson Reagan, who was 81 years old. She was an American singer from the bands The Freedom Singers and Sweet Honey in the Rock. I'm assuming they must have got like extra money per letter. Sweet Honey in the Rock. I don't know.
Or maybe
man.
syllables, because honey's 3.
Well, she's
What?
81, and if golly, Katie, really? Wow. I was told I was the tame one in this show.
I'm just blonde, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You
okay?
have no blonde whatsoever left. Vincent
Hey, it's
Burns.
coming in. It's coming in. It's coming in back in.
Wow, you just got that done, too. You should get your money back.
Yeah, Beverly.
Yeah, Beverly. Vincent Burns, who was 43 years old, was an American football player from the Colts, passed away. No idea why. 43 is really young. Pinchy Peach.
I saw this and I meant to look it up, but I forgot, so I'm doing it now.
Yeah, I added this for you. He or she was a death metal vocalist from a band called Brujeria. 57 years old. Oh,
shit. No, look at this mofo. What?
Died of heart failure. I have no
idea about this man, but I can already hear their sound in my head. Why is his forehead so big? I have serious questions about this man.
The man's forehead is so big that the guy who died right before him used to play football on it.
It's Peach.
Did you say it's Peach? That was his name.
I said it's his Peach.
Oh, man. Also on July 17th, Happy Traum, 86 years old, and a former American folk singer. And I think they probably have to change his name now that he's passed away.
The Sappy.
That would work. Yes, Sappy would definitely work. Definitely would. Reminds me of the daily joke for today, which was about crematoriums.
I did watch that one. That one was good.
My jokes are getting pretty edgy over there, aren't they, Koolme?
They are. I like them.
Yeah, people are loving it. I got a lot more where that came from. Anyway, July 18th was the big one for notable people. It's also my daughter's birthday, but I digress. Bob Newhart, the uber famous actor, died at the age of 94, former Emmy winner. My kids, I said, Bob Newhart died. And they said, who the frick is that? I was like, Captain whatever his name is on the Big Bang Theory. And they were like, oh, yeah. Oh, man, what the hell was his name? Captain Science or whatever it was on Big Bang Theory? That was Bob Newhart.
Never seen it, so I can't.
You've never seen the Big Bang Theory?
No, I know you told me to watch it. It's on the list. It's on the list.
Oh, that's crazy.
It looks like what's his face from Silence of the Lambs, mildly.
Oh, Hannibal Lecter or Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Lou Dobbs also passed away on that day. Lou Dobbs was a conservative political commentator, 78 years old, probably most known for Lou Dobbs Tonight, which is perfect for him to have a show named after Lou Dobbs. He happens to be Lou Dobbs, and he has that show.
Hell yeah. On brand.
I mean, just the coincidence, right? It's like Lou Gehrig dying from Lou Gehrig's disease. Who would have thought? Crazy.
Yeah.
Jerry Fuller, and this is somebody that I actually knew of. Jerry Fuller was an American songwriter who was 85 years old. Wrote a bunch of songs like Young Girl, Traveling Man, Show and Tell, all songs from the 50s and 60s. Passed away of lung cancer, which has got to suck when you make it to your 80s and frickin' cancer takes you out. It was like a couple of weeks ago, Katie, when the guy was like 96 and died in a plane crash. Like, holy shit, bro.
Yeah. Like, what the
Yeah, it's like, golly, you just never know what's going to get you, man.
You, man.
Yeah, just don't know what's going to get you. That's why you gotta live every day like it's your last. I know that's very cliche, but golly, you just never know.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. July 19th, a politician from the state of Texas, Sheila Jackson Lee, passed away from pancreatic cancer. Normally, I would not put a politician on this list, but she was pretty prominent and was a current representative in Washington. She was still serving at the time of her death. July 20th is where I had to make some updates, which surprised me because I had not heard of either one of these being announced, and I'm pretty good at seeing the news. But Jerry Miller, who was 81 years old, he was the vocalist and chief songwriter for the band Moby Grape, which was a 60s and 70s band, passed away that day. And then Sandy Posey, who I learned about today, even though I've been looking at this list all week, which is the weird thing about Wikipedia, by the way. But she was an American singer, really, really well known. At the age of 80, she passed away, and she passed away from complications from dementia. And again, we talked about complications from an overdose a few weeks ago. Dementia is complicated, for sure.
Oh, I know. Yeah, dementia and Alzheimer's are.
Yeah. Way to go, man. Way to go. There was a lady on TikTok as well. I don't remember her name. I hate myself for that. I think her name was Betty. But she had dementia. Very, very well known TikToker. She passed away this week as well of dementia.
That's sad.
Yeah. And at least this list this week had mostly really f***ing old people on it, right?
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Speaking of dementia, not to cut you off.
No, please.
So there was like a I don't even know if this because I think she's still alive technically, but so the lady that plays the old lady in The Notebook who has dementia ended up getting dementia in real life.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
That sucks. Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, the lengths that these actors will go to research their parts.
For real, man. Totally dedicated for life.
Holy shit.
For life.
Man, I want this to be as real as possible. Give me some of that shit.
Give me dementia.
Right.
She did all of that shit just to get a giant blue diamond. We all know it.
Stop.
Jack, there's a boat. July 21st, Evelyn Thomas, who was 70 years old, American singer from a band called High Energy. Never heard of any of this. But she was 70 years old and passed away. And then Richie Sandoval, who I had heard of, even though I'm not a huge boxing fan. He was an American boxer at the age of 63. He was actually the WBA bantamweight champion from 84 to 86. And the last one on our list from today, earlier today, Becky Barr, who was 46 years old. Apparently a really well-known British journalist and TV presenter on BBC. Also a firefighter. What a trifecta of
a woman.
Yeah. She died of abdominal cancer today.
That's sad.
Earlier today. Wikipedia, man, you can't trust it because Sandy Posey wasn't on the list at all this week, and then all of a sudden today she was on the list. And so I guess it just, Wikipedia is
slow.
Well, people add to it, and if nobody thinks about it, then nobody thinks about it, I guess. But anyway, that's our celebrity deaths of the week. Insert jingle here. I really won't be. You know why? Because I have a songwriter as a co-host, and we still don't have jingles.
That's not right.
I can't go any further without falling.
That's not right. Waiting for that jingle.
Yeah, we'll get one. We'll get one. Episode 114, guys. We have a theme song. Let's go. Katie's walking around with a walker. I'm 4 feet in the ground. You know how it is. All right.
I'm already there, the fuck.
All right, guys, we're going to spin some wheels and all that stuff. We have a game we play every week if you're just joining us. And Koolme has graciously accepted his role on the wheel. So I'm going to add his name to the wheel right now. It doesn't matter, guys, because it's going to land on me anyway. But I'm going to spin it.
Notes ready.
Golly, I just need the wheel to go my way once, bro. Just give me a week off, please.
Not literally either. Not literally.
No, not literally. All right, here we go. I'm spinning the wheel. Okay, the wheel has landed on Boston Chris. As well we already knew. And let me tell you something. I am spinning the wheel from a different spot every week, and it's still landing on that shit. I'm taking my name off next week. That's it.
Put numbers instead. It might just like the way your name looks better.
I mean, I could cheat. Nobody's watching. But anyway, here's the game. I'm spinning the wheel for the game now. Golly, man. All right, the game this week is Don't Get Me Started.
Hell yeah.
Don't Get Me Started is a topic is given, and then I must give a fake angry rant about whatever the topic is. We have not played Don't Get Me Started yet.
I know.
So at least it's a new game this time. So the topic that I have to give an angry rant on, I'm spinning the wheel for that now. And let's see here. We already got that one a couple weeks ago. I'm just going to remove it from the wheel. All right, here we go. Respin.
Go, bitch. Go.
Okay, we already got that one too, bro. Come on now. Can I, like, move this? I can't. All right, whatever. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, I'm just gonna remove all the things. Trash bags came up. Okay. Bunnies! Now don't get me started, all right? Because bunnies are, let me tell you something. If you are a farmer like I am and you have carrots growing everywhere, and especially those white carrots, they call them parsnips. Well, I have these goddamn bunnies in my yard that are parsnip robbers. They will come in and they will rob every single parsnip that I've ever grown.
Man.
Yeah, I even have a sign on my lawn that says, no bunnies. And then I have another sign that is like in the shape of a wolf that says, leave my parsnips alone. And these damn bunnies either don't understand English or don't understand the shape of a wolf. Which leads me to believe there's some pretty dumb bunnies in my neighborhood, to be fair.
I don't know. Apparently they're pretty smart. They realize it's fake and they still getting the
No. They haven't realized it's fake. They're just too dumb to understand that's a frickin' wolf. Now, what I did is I went to True Value to try to buy me a scare bunny because I don't need a scarecrow. I'm not dealing with crows here. I needed a scare bunny, and they don't have them. Did you know they don't make scare bunnies yet?
So you got in the Easter Bunny outfit and chased them?
No, absolutely not. So what I did is I started to go to McDonald's over and over and over again and just started ordering medium and small and large drinks. That way I could get enough straw to build me a straw bunny, a scare bunny. Because that's what I was told, that you need straw to make a scarecrow. So I figured I needed straws to make a scare bunny. So do you know how many parsnips I lost in the time it took me to get enough straws for McDonald's to build me a scare bunny? You don't even want to know.
A million times.
Let's just say I had to file Chapter 8 bankruptcy on my parsnip business. And I'm not real happy about it. Because I got a lot of really frickin' celebrity customers waiting for their parsnips.
Parsnip consumers?
Yes, that's right.
You have stocks in your parsnips?
Yes.
Oh,
We're
shit,
a publicly traded company, Katie. Stop making fun of it, all right?
I'm not. Man, I'm just asking questions. Shit.
Wow. So you just don't like parsnips. You're a parsnipism. You know you are.
I'm a parsnipsis.
Yeah, that's right. Ooh. So
Them bunnies and them parsnips.
now I have a scare bunny in the yard, and my pet bunny in the house won't talk to me. But anyway.
Bro.
Poor bunny.
There's like straw wrappers all over the yard.
Hate to see it.
Me too, because I don't even like rap and hip hop. Anyway. Top 5 horror movies. This is I decided to do this as a top 5 because you know the old show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yep.
Well, if I was sitting in that chair and a question about horror movies came up and they told me I could call an expert, Koolme would be the person I call. So that's why we have this. So the way Top 5 works, every single week we're doing a Top 5 segment. And this week, the three of us are going to list our Top 5 favorite horror movies. And I am at a disadvantage here because I don't like horror movies, to be fair. So basically, I am ranking my horror movies based on how much I tinkled when I watched the movie.
That's a good rating.
That
That's
is a good rating. P rating.
I'll let Jackson know because he can't do it either.
Okay, so since I have to start with this, I am gonna go with number 5, and Koolme, please don't laugh at me through this because I'm doing my best.
I won't laugh. I promise I'll try not to laugh.
I'm gonna go with the Scream series for number 5. I see Koolme's already like, no, that's definitely much higher.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But I like Scream. I just felt like there were too many of them, perhaps, and it got watered down for me after a while. But for me, Scream is great because I could be scared and laughing my ass off in the same movie, and that always appealed to me. Kadie, what is number 5 for you?
First of all, can't with that. I'm sorry, dude. Anyway, so for me, this is mildly childish. It's the only one on my list that I'm a little embarrassed of. But I think it's a good movie. It's really weird, really fucking weird. But it was like one of the first horror movies I watched, and I still love it to this day just because what it is. But it's an Australian film, I believe, and it's like this indie film, and it's not really that good. Like it looks very bad, but the acting is good and the storyline is good. And that would be the Babadook. And you probably know what.
Did she say the Babadook? How do you spell this? The Babadook. What the f*** is a Babadook?
Babadook. Babadook.
Oh,
Babadook.
Okay.
I watched that again like a month ago because I saw it and I was like, oh.
Actually, haven't seen that one yet. It's on the list. It
has a good story, and like the mother and the kid acting A1. But like when you see like the actual dude, like his face, it's like a little wacky. But it's a good movie though.
All right, Koolme, number 5 for you, sir.
This list was tough for me because I love movies. I'm a huge movie buff, and picking 5 was very hard. I'd say my number 5 would probably have to be The Conjuring. I'm a sucker for like the paranormal type movies, even though they scare the shit out of me. But that like The Conjuring really scares me, I think, more than The Exorcist does. But just the overall story of The Conjuring is, it's almost there's like almost like a few stories mixed into like one movie. So
yeah.
It's
and that movie's not part of a series either. That was a standalone, right?
No, it's part of a whole. They have a universe, the Conjuring universe.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
they got like Annabelle. They have all kinds of shit that tie in.
They're all connected to Annabelle, really. I mean, but
Ed and Lorraine Warren. That's what it really is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really just focused on Ed and Lorraine Warren going through their cases of different paranormal stuff that they have encountered over the years. Some of their bigger cases, they say they're true. I imagine that they're, to an extent, are true.
Yeah.
And they got the permission from the actual people, obviously, to portray them in the movies and stuff like that. So, but yeah, the Conjuring universe for me is really good. And the Conjuring probably in my top 5 for sure.
So my list is gonna be very Stephen King heavy, for sure, which I hope is okay. But for some reason, I had a list that I have on here, and now I'm thinking of more that scared the shit out of me. So I'm gonna put number 4. I don't even have this listed here, and by putting this, I'm gonna be leaving off some really good movies, unfortunately. But I have to put The Grudge. The Grudge scared the living bejesus out of me when I was a kid, and I was a lot younger when The Grudge came out. That was
honesty, I still haven't seen it.
That girl in The Grudge, dude, like, she will f you up, like just
that
what?
Would, yeah, that kind of shit. I wouldn't sleep for a while. Like I can watch all the paranormal shit, but that shit, I'd look up and be like, is she on my ceiling? Because I have like blackout curtains and shit, so like you already can't see nothing. I'm like, I know she's right there. I know it.
I'll keep it real. I have at least 2 exes that remind me of that Grudge girl too. So, at least two.
I kind of remind me of the Grudge.
Kadie, what's your number 4?
Okay, my number 4 would be the Insidious. They're like that whole thing, like the chapters and everything. They actually came out with another one. It's Insidious: The Red Door. Um, Badass. That's like not brand new, but like I think this year, maybe last year, but they just added it on Netflix, and it's fucking badass. Badass. Really recommend, because it's hard. Like, because Insidious, like the first one came out like early 2000s, right? Or like mid 2000s. Um, but to have that then and like build on it and it not be stupid throughout the whole thing, I think that's pretty cool. Because I feel like a lot of new horror movies and stuff are just stupid as hell. So,
Koolme, what do
but
you
they
got at
still have
number
good
4?
storylines. So,
I can agree with that. It's actually made from the Conjuring people,
yeah.
too, so it works out. They're not connected in any way, but they're just, they have their
Yeah.
own. They have two universes pretty much, so it's
Mhm.
pretty cool. For me, I'm going with the Stephen King. It 2017, It Chapter 1, or also known as It Chapter 1. Really, really well done remake. I didn't care to be fair. I mean, I love Tim Curry, but it was just a little too goofy for me, watching the original series. It 2017 does a great job of making him actually scary, Pennywise actually scary, and making you actually fear him rather than it being funny, like Freddy Krueger or something like that towards the end of
Yeah.
his reign. So yeah, so when they rebooted it, it became a huge success. It Chapter 2 is not as good. It's good, but it's not as good as It Chapter 1. And just the kids did a great job. The chemistry is there and all that stuff. So it was it's just really, really well done. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice. At number 3 for me, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be much higher for Koolme, but the reason why this even makes the list for me is because I struggle to watch these films because they're so fucking scary. And that is the Saw series. Golly, dude! Like I still remember like the very first Saw movie. Just God, man, what? Like whoever came up with those films, and I'm sure Koolme knows who it is, but whoever came up with them, they should probably be like institutionalized or something because Jesus.
Fun fact, also the creators of Conjuring and Insidious.
Really?
Really? I didn't know that.
Leigh
Interesting.
Whannell, and James Wan created that whole universe that they got going on. So they created the Conjuring universe, Insidious, and Saw.
Wow.
See, I tried. I don't remember what Saw movie it was, one that's on some streaming platform. Um, but I can't. I can't with that shit. I just can't. That and like, I would love Texas Chainsaw Massacre is yes and no, because like, I love the storyline, but it's very gory. I can't really get behind that gore much. Like, I just, not about it.
So what do you get at number 3, Katie?
My number 3 is the Conjuring series. Go figure. Mine's
Nice.
actually higher, obviously, but that's because, like, I mean, I'm young, and I came around. This is what I was going to watch in the theater, right? When I was a kid, versus like, oh, I found it on Netflix, this old ass movie. You know what I mean? So like that, The Conjuring. I actually just recently, like the past couple years, got really into Insidious, but The Conjuring, that was, I mean, one of my first 5 horror movies I probably ever went and saw. So like the original one, maybe. Maybe the second one.
It seems like the theme is essentially from the same producers.
Fucking
Conjuring,
badass, dude.
Insidious, Saw. What do you got, Koolme, at number 3?
So, like I said, my list was really tough. I went with Dawn of the Dead remake. Another great remake. Remakes don't come very easy for redoing an original story. The Dawn of the Dead remake, made by Zack Snyder, surprisingly. I think it was his first film, and one of the very first zombie movies to introduce running zombies, and which is more terrifying than slow zombies. The change and everything happens quick. It's really based off of the original almost to a T. but they have a lot of cool moments in the movie, and you never really find out what happens in the original to the people who get away, but you find out in the remake what
Hell
happens
yeah.
to them.
I
So
feel like horror movies are easier to remake just because like the shit we have now, like
Mm.
technology and stuff, like you can make it scarier than it was. And a lot of times, like back in the day, they were like it was a little goofy kind
And
of
I feel
shit.
like screenwriting is better today too, right? So like not just the CGI and the graphics and all of that
Right.
stuff, but I feel like the writing has gotten better to where like it's not as hollow in some of
Yeah.
these films. Because like I remember back in the day, like the B movie horror movies where it was just like scream queens and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
it really just depends. Like there's a lot of duds out there right now,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of like indie films, and just a couple, just to throw a couple out there, like The Barbarian. Not a really well received movie, but it had like a limited release. Very, very creepy, very good horror movie. Sting just came out. It's another movie that, it's about a spider, which we don't get very many movies like that
Mhm.
anymore. There's just different stuff like that, where it's like it they don't make them like they used to. That's for sure.
See, and like you just said, they don't make nothing about no damn spider. I would not sleep for like a week.
Yeah,
Show me that shit.
I hate
Versus I
spiders.
watch The Conjuring to go to sleep.
I hate
Like,
Yeah, me too. I hate
you know,
spiders, but that's
I'm
a really good
still
spider movie. It's a really good
Yeah.
spider movie. It's about a spider that drops from space,
Ooh.
hell
and
yeah.
it
No,
it,
but like
it grows
that,
as it eats.
yeah, that kind of shit. Hell yeah.
All right,
Hell
so
yeah.
starting at number 2, this is when I start showing my age a little bit. At number 2, I have Children of the Corn. Golly, and I'm talking about the original. Fuck, man, no, thank you. Like, if dude, you could offer me a bit of money at this point to go watch Children of the Corn in a dark room by myself, and I am turning you down. Like, I am not doing it. I don't know what it was either because like it didn't even feel like it was all that real. There was not really much of a plot to the movie, but golly, it terrified the shit out of me. All the time. Even now, thinking about it, it's probably been 35 years since I've seen the movie. 30 years at least. And God, man, scared the bejesus out of me. What do you got? What do you got, Katie, at number 2?
So this is when I get to the good shit and where I don't sound as much as my age. And my number 2 is The Shining. I have always had a major love for The Shining. I've watched it. Well, I cannot tell you how many times. Okay, so 2 and 1 I have made Jackson watch because I'm like, listen, this is like a staple of my life. Like, you have to watch this. So, and he actually didn't mind it. I feel like one thing, like in older movies, especially like Stephen King, like it always had a really good story and you never knew where it was going. Like, they didn't really have to rely as much on like the CGI and the technology and stuff. So I think uh older movies in a way can definitely be scarier. Easy. Even if they are mildly goofy.
The
Like with the
The Shining was so good, not because, like you said, not because of CGI, but just because the acting was so spot on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I
and
like psychological kind of horror movies like that, like the psychological
yeah,
kind of shit.
and that's definitely one that I really hate leaving off my list. But it was probably a 5B. But Koolme, what do you got at number 2?
It's a good one. That's a good one. It's a classic. It's
Mhm.
how could you not like The Shining? It's like
Yeah.
it's just a classic.
Mhm.
Um, for me, my first, my top two are a little bit newer, and it was really hard to put, you know, these in one and two. But Saw X recently came out. I'm a huge Saw buff. I love Saw. I saw a lot of people just see it as like torture porn and stuff like that, but there is an actual story to them. They're all connected in in many ways. They're very connected story wise. Saw X actually takes place. The 10th movie in the franchise. It takes place between one and two. Um, so it kind of there's a lot of story and gaps to fill between these movies. Um, and this has probably got to be the my favorite Saw movie to date, and um, probably takes the series back to its roots of what it was over the course of later on in the franchise when it started going downhill. Um, this got to be like, the top Saw movie for me. I mean, it's just really well done.
That's impressive for a 10th movie in the series to be that good, right?
It's very rare. They went back to the basics. Um, they obviously they made a mistake with um, spoilers, killing off the main character, Jigsaw, John Kramer. And this is their kind of way of trying to give the fans back what they want. For me, it's not about that. It's more about the story and tying up loose ends for everybody. And things like that. Who's working with who type of thing. It's really like a mystery of, the twists are always what I look forward to in the movie. Like who's the killer, or who's doing what, who's pulling the strings. So for me, it's probably one of the better versions, better than Spiral that came out. This was like a spin-off, but still connected to the Saw franchise with Chris Rock. Came out a couple years ago. Um, but this one definitely took the franchise back to its roots. Saw 11 was supposed to come out this year, but it got delayed. They realized that they have a huge success right now, and they want to ride that wave as
Yeah.
fast as possible. So I'm looking very, very much looking forward to that one.
Well, that's smart
yeah.
too. That's very smart to do that anyhow. And don't rush things too, right? Like I feel
No,
like
they
ever since the pandemic, so much content gets rushed nowadays. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
no Saw was always a yearly, like an annual thing. They always try to push it to every October, and I think with this one they really took their time with. Um, and they don't want to put out another one unless there's a good story to it, and they have a lot of story left to tell, I think, within the timeline that they're going with currently. So
That's
I should
badass.
really check it out because I would probably really get behind it. It's just I remember I watched it when I was younger, and I was just like, nope. So I should probably try to revisit
they're
that.
very gory. They are very gory. But if
Yeah,
you could look past that and get
They
with
are.
the
Yep.
story to them,
yeah,
then you'll be like, oh shit, like damn,
yeah.
like that's crazy. There's some like a lot of oh shit moments of like, oh shit, like this
See, and I love
person.
that.
Yeah, it's very murder mystery almost.
Hmm.
So, my number one, I'll probably get laughed at here, but I don't care because, like Katie just said about being extremely young, I was 7 years old when I was forced, and I say forced, and I mean forced, to watch this movie by my aunt. My aunt was not a nice person. To this day, I'm here to tell you, my aunt was not a nice person because I'm pretty sure I was 7 or 8 when I saw this movie. I've only ever seen the movie once, and I still have dreams about it 40 years later. And I'm talking about Cujo. Cujo is my number one, bro. And I'm here to tell you, anytime I see a Saint Bernard in real life, I am walking the other fucking way. I don't care if it's your baby. I don't care if his name is Teddy Bear. I don't care. I don't care. Okay? Keep your Cujo to yourself. That's all I
That's
got.
so funny because they're known to actually be really sweet dogs.
Okay, look.
But
I cannot crack my window this far because of Cujo. The window either has to be all the way up or all the way down, simply because of Cujo.
It's a terrifying movie. Yeah, I remember when I watched that when I was young. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
and I mean that's another thing that people don't really think of making a movie about, and it turned out really good.
And very little CGI in that movie, by the way, if I
Exactly.
remember correctly. But look, keep your fucking teddy bear, Saint Bernard, Cujo motherfucking shit away from me. That's all I'll say. Katie, what do you got for number one?
So I was talking about the psychological shit. Mine is Silence of the Lambs. I have always loved
Nice.
the Lambs. That was also, oh my god, I fucking remember. I've never wanted to beat the shit out of my mother more than I did this day. Okay. I was like, let's see, I was probably 14, and I had my niece was over at the house, and she's like 2 years younger than me, and she was 12, and I was really starting to get into horror movies, and I had blackout curtains, and I shut my door, and it was like 3 o'clock, but it was like nighttime in there, and we were just watching this shit, and I think it was right before they show the bodies hanging in the cage and all that shit, or like hanging up, and the cage is all fucked up. And my mom busts the door open and screams as loud as she can. I pissed myself.
Oh my God.
Like,
so
I just about died.
So just so we're clear so far, my aunt and Katie's mom are both on the hit list.
I have a story about my mom too. Don't worry. I mean, she terrified me with Candyman.
Candyman, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, she would do. She's like, go in the restroom and do Candyman, and her and her friend both popped in the restroom and scared the shit out of me.
See, Bloody Mary for me. I feel it.
So the question is, did they literally scare the shit out of you, like in the bathroom, right?
Yes.
Nice.
I was a young lad. I mean, my mom was very popular back in the day. She would always get movie premiere tickets from Power 106, and she would always meet Big Boy and stuff like that, and she always got the premieres. So we went to she took me to the scary premieres. I grew up on horror movies, so that's it's my favorite, one of my favorite genres. So she took me to the Candyman premiere, and she had Tony Todd come up and scare me with his hook and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what was your number one? Not Candyman, right?
No, not Candyman. Definitely not. Another one of my favorite franchises, Scream 6, the newer one. It does get a lot of hate, but it's a really well done. For me, it's a really well done movie. I might be a little biased, but the overall story and the something just about the Ghostface killer really, it could be anybody, it's not like Michael Myers or Jason. It could really just be anybody that snaps and wants to don the costume, they're and just kill somebody, for their inspiration of watching these movie within a movie type thing, because they base off, the Scream off the Stab, the Stab movies off the Scream, film. So for me, it's the who done it type thing, and the Scream 6 just has that it's this constant action. Surprisingly for me, it's like kill after kill after kill, or chase scene and after chase scene after chase scene, which is what Scream 5 lacked a lot of, was chase scenes. But Scream 6 just had it all for me. It just had the action. For me, the women, because I'm a huge, I love the women in that movie. Huge Jenna Ortega fan. Huge Melissa Barrera fan now. She was actually fired from the Scream franchise for speaking her mind about, her opinion on the wars going on. And they fired her and ruined the rest of the story that they had to tell for those characters. So I support her in any way that I possibly can, but it's unfortunate, they are making a Scream 7, but it is unfortunate that they had to basically cover up their ass.
I hate when real life gets in the way of art, man. I really do. One of my favorite shows was ruined because of something like that too. It wasn't because of an opinion, but rather because of the Me Too movement. But if you remember House of Cards on Netflix, they always say, I know this is completely off topic, but they always say, oh, the ending was going to end that way anyway. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show, but that's absolute fucking bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. There's no way that show was ending the way they ended it if they did not fire Kevin Spacey, period. And then, come to find out, he's been, I don't want to say vindicated because there is still a lot of smoke there. Let's just say he was acquitted, right? So he has been acquitted of wrongdoing. That doesn't mean he's vindicated, because again, when there's some smoke, there's usually some fire there as well. So I'm still not entirely sure where I stand on Kevin Spacey. I just know that whatever he done to whoever he done it to fucked up my favorite show, and I'm extremely selfish. So there you go.
No,
So
it definitely sucks.
Yeah, I feel you on that, because I feel like the creative definitely changed because of shit like that, and it just sucks. It sucks. But
I don't think that would have happened, back in the day. It's just the internet and social media is just very toxic nowadays. And she didn't say anything wrong. She was just actually very supportive, and they fired her over it, and then they lost Jenna Ortega after that, and then now they're rewriting the whole thing as a like Scream 7 is supposed to be like a reboot, like a fresh reboot, and
right.
it's just stupid. It's frustrating for me, just because I'm big on Scream and the story, that they had
And to
going.
be fair, if it was a lesser franchise, it probably wouldn't survive that kind of stuff. But this being
No.
Scream, it probably will be okay.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Koolme, have you seen? I have been told to watch it, but I've also been told that it's absolutely awful. But curious if you've seen it. The Terrifier and the Terrifier 2. Have you been there?
I've been there.
Okay.
I enjoy them.
Okay.
The movies get a lot of hate, but they are very, 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 very gory. Very.
That's
gory.
what I've heard. I have
Yeah.
a friend, and she's kind of a psychopath, and she's like, "No, it's fine." But then I've heard from other people, and she don't even watch horror movies. I was like, "You watch that?" She's just kind of cuckoo, but she's the best. But she was like, "Yeah, I just sat up and watched it last night at midnight." I'm like, "You're a fucking idiot." But then I've heard from like other people that it's like the most terrifying and worst thing they've ever seen.
No, it's
In a good way.
definitely believe what people say. I mean, my mom told me to watch the first one day, and I just happened I threw it on one day, and I'm like, I'll check it out. And it is probably the most mindless killer I think I have seen thus far.
Okay.
He just fucking kills for no reason.
For
It's
shits and giggles. Got
yeah.
it.
He doesn't, and the creepy part is he doesn't say one word.
Yeah.
He's just
The-
mute. He's a mute. He just does.
As a true crime buff, you'd be surprised how many killers, like real killers, literally have no motive for killing. So
Yeah.
it's very, very apropos of that horror movie.
Well, and I
Right.
do think that kind of aspect is cool too, because like you never know what's about to happen next, too.
Right. Yep.
I'd say definitely give it a try if your stomach can handle it. They're definitely good movies.
Okay, I'll turn it on for me and Jackson later.
All right, so that was our top 5 horror movies. Appreciate you guys watching that segment, and so far people are really enjoying the top 5 segment. So I think that's probably going to be a permanent
Staple.
Yeah, permanent staple to the show. But we're going to get into our news items this week. Now, the first one I am going to introduce, we'll go back and forth, Kadie, if that's okay with you.
Hey.
I added this one because I kind of wanted to show people out there that the headlines is not all that it's meant to be. And if you are a headline reader and that's how you get your news, then you are doing it wrong, because as we all know, Richard Simmons passed away a couple weeks ago, and last week Kadie and I tributed him on the show with one of his skits from Whose Line Is It Anyway? Again, one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. I don't even think Koolme's seen that yet because it came out yesterday, I think, or maybe it comes out next Friday. I'm so lost on what episode comes out when. It's whatever. It's just
It might be this
whatever.
Friday. It might be this Friday, and I haven't yet to get to it because obviously, I had the boys over, so
Yeah,
they were visiting. So
I
haven't had a
don't.
chance.
I'll keep it real. I think it comes out this coming Friday, and then the Friday
Gotcha.
after is this one. So, but yeah, it's the first time we played a video on the show, other than for the sleazebag Dr. Disrespect. But anyway, I saw this headline.
God, I wish I could have gotten that episode.
Right? I hope we did that justice. I thought Kadie and I did really well during that segment. I thought it was really almost like a whiteboard segment. But anyway, so I saw this headline, and I feel like a lot of people in the hustle and bustle of everyday life just get their news from headlines. And if you do, then you have to be extremely careful, because the way mainstream media will f you over is by giving you a headline that is meant for you to click into the story to get more. And if you are too busy to do so, then the headline is not exactly what it's meant to be. And so the headline for this is Richard Simmons' death under investigation, Los Angeles police say. So when I saw this come across my timeline, I immediately thought, holy crap, somebody killed Richard Simmons. So, I mean, that's going to be the first place you travel by reading that headline. Yes or no?
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I thought when I read it.
Right. So then you come in here and it says, the sudden death of fitness icon Richard Simmons is under investigation by the medical examiner, according to the Los Angeles Police Department. Second sentence, no foul play is suspected.
Suspected. Also, it says later on, I'm going to skip ahead, the LAPD literally said there is no foul play, but right here it says no foul play is suspected.
There is a quote, there is an actual quote from the LAPD spokesperson, quote, there is no foul play, unquote.
But the way that's phrased, it leaves it kind of open-ended.
There's literally no story here. So basically what they're saying is because he's uber famous and he passed away essentially in Hollywood, that they're just going to make sure that he died of what they're saying he died of. But yet the Guardian, which is where this story, or MSN, is where this story came from, it's just a misleading headline. And I'm so tired of misleading headlines, misinformation, disinformation, all of that shit, because people are so busy nowadays that they're just going to read the headline. They're automatically going to think. I guarantee 5 years from now, there's going to be people walking around thinking that Richard Simmons was murdered just because of this shit. And it's unfair for the person that passed away, because the person has a legacy, and now that legacy could be ruined or even sullied somewhat just because of a lazy headline meant to get clicks. And it's bullshit, to keep it real.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I did mention in our tribute last week that he kind of disappeared from the public eye, and the story does talk about that. But I've actually I went down the Richard Simmons rabbit hole, which is a nice place to be, because he was a really awesome human being, by the way. If you don't know much about him, I implore you to research. The guy was amazing. But he had social media, he had a Facebook page that he was very active on, and and he posted a picture every day with a caption on it. And from what I was reading from his staff, his crew, whatever, those captions were like his daily content, his creative juices. Like, he went through all of those and double-checked and triple-checked and all of that. But anyway, I wanted to clear that shit up. Richard Simmons was not murdered. There is no foul play suspected. So if you saw this headline and just quickly kind of scrolled through it, I kind of wanted to clear that up for our tens and tens of viewers.
More than that.
I wish. Katie, what do you got next? This one's
this headline is actually pretty accurate. So Jack Black, we all know about Tenacious D. We all love Tenacious D. Jack Black, Tenacious D band, cancels Australia tour after comments on Trump shooting. So this is already a very sensitive topic. Mm-hmm. But I find this very interesting. So,
first of all, how surprised were you when you saw me add this to the script?
I was like,
yeah, I know, right?
What? So, okay. American comedy rock duo Tenacious D is formed by actors Jack Black and Kyle Gass. It's Gass, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what I thought. Anyway, they suspended the rest of its Australian tour after comments made by Gass over the assassination attempt over former U.S. President Donald Trump. A video widely shared on social media from the concert in Sydney on Sunday shows Gass being presented with a birthday cake and Black urging him to make a wish, and then Gass then seemed to say, don't miss Trump next time before blowing out the candles.
Mhm.
So we all know what happened. Obviously, who doesn't know what happened, regardless of whether you're in the United States or not. I don't give a shit who we're shooting at. I don't think that's cool.
No, so the reason why I added this to the script, Kadie, is not because, we're not going to talk about specific politicians here. We're not going to talk about divisive shit at all on this channel. We will talk about inclusivity, things like that. But we're not going to talk Trump. We're not going to talk Biden. You'll never hear us talk about the assassination attempt. You won't hear us talk about Biden stepping down. You won't hear us talk about Kamala Harris. This story right here is not about Donald Trump. This story is about Tenacious D and what was said, why it was said, and the reasons for the backlash from this, right? So, just to kind of outline this, it was Kyle Gass's birthday. They were live on stage. What Tenacious D does, if you're fans, they are very improvisational. They don't run their jokes by each other. They just don't. They just make jokes, and it's on the fly. First of all, nobody should condone political violence of any kind, period. No matter if you like the person who's targeted or not. And you shouldn't make jokes about it, period. Somebody died in that attack, and whether you believe or support the person who was attacked or not doesn't matter. Okay? Now, Tenacious D has been around a long time. A really long time.
Long time.
And Jack Black and Kyle Gass have known each other a really long time. And so, yes, the tour was canceled, but further than that, the announcement was made that all creativeness regarding Tenacious D in the future has been put, quote unquote, on hold.
Hold. Yeah.
So essentially, not only is the tour canceled, but the band, the friendship, all of that may be over.
Might be canceled, yeah.
So
I think it's very okay. Me and you, Boston, we've known each other for a while, not that long. But me and you, if you've been friends for that long, I think it's kind of weird that something like that could just separate all of it. Maybe like putting stuff on hold for a minute, but like questioning and like I don't feel like politics or anything should have the power that it does to separate people. I just don't. And that's two friends that have been together for how long? I just think I don't know. I find it kind of sad.
Well, I personally don't think it's the politics that's separating these two. First of all,
it might be other shit.
I'm gonna explain in a minute. But Koolme, what's your opinion on this so far, from what you can gather?
I'm familiar with Tenacious D. I've heard a few songs. I'm a Jack Black fan. In general, as for his acting, I think he's funny. He's pretty funny, and a lot of the roles he does. But I think just regardless of who you support, I don't think you should wish death upon anybody like that.
Right.
It's just wrong. And it's just really, I don't think petty's the right word, but it's just, if somebody
short-sighted is, I think, might be the right word.
Right, you shouldn't, just because
there's a disagreement.
Yeah, it's like a disagreement, or you don't like somebody's opinion, doesn't mean you should just want them dead, or something like that. I just think that's wrong. Regardless of who you support, you shouldn't let that get in the way of friendship or anything like that.
The fact of the matter is, this is absolutely accurate. Both Kyle Gass and Jack Black share the same political ideology. They are both liberal-leaning left politically. They both endorsed Joe Biden. And regardless of that, again, like I said earlier, political violence has no place for all of this. But here's my opinion. Jack Black is experiencing a possible windfall that's about to happen for him. And, and I know Koolme might know where I'm going with this because he's a movie buff. But the Super Mario franchise is about to be reinvigorated, and Jack Black is the man behind that series. And there is going to be a whole lot of money involved in that project. And I promise you, again, all of this didn't happen on stage. This wasn't something that Jack Black demonized on stage. It wasn't like he came out and said, Kyle, that's not cool, man. No, he laughed along with it on stage, right? And later on said that he was caught off guard and he was just, going along with it or whatever. And then Kyle Gass had what I feel was a genuine apology. He seems like he's genuinely sorry and went overboard and all of those things. But personally speaking, I think the Super Mario stuff is really, really at the forefront of this, because if Jack Black doesn't get out in front of this, then could put all of that in jeopardy. And so I'd be willing to bet when he got off stage that night, his people were on the phone and texting and sending homing pigeons and all kinds of shit to him, like, you better get ahead of this. You might want to put a hold on this or do whatever you got to do because these people are threatening to pull out.
Regardless of even that, that's a good reason. It's rude, like it's tarnishing your image. It's sad to say, but at the same time, you gotta save your own ass, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. And to be completely honest, if you're on X as much as I am, Jack Black was already, they were already trying to cancel him anyway for endorsing Biden a couple weeks ago. So, this Jack Black is in the news for the wrong reasons. And that's not good when you have a giant project that's coming up for you. You know what I mean? Not good.
Multiple. Multiple. He has multiple, Jumanji, Minecraft, Minecraft movie he's got going. So he's the star of, those. So.
Yep.
Yeah, it really sucks.
All right, next up we have Carol Burnett. Who knew that we would be talking about Bob Newhart and Carol Burnett in 2024? But Carol Burnett is a certified badass, in my opinion. Carol Burnett just turned 91 years old and just got an Emmy nominee for her performance in Apple TV's Palm Royale, making her the oldest ever Emmy nominee, the oldest ever female, I believe, to be nominated for an Emmy at 91 years old. That is f***ing badass. I don't care if you like her, don't think she's funny, whatever. 91 years old and frickin' nominated for an Emmy. That's insane to me. Absolutely insane.
I think it's pretty badass, man.
Agreed.
Because I definitely don't think, just because they're old, they shouldn't be nominated. And if she did that good of a performance, to her,
Yeah. And, to be fair, I didn't even know she was still active as an actress. I figured she'd be somewhere eating applesauce and shit like that at this point in her life. But God bless her, dude. Like, holy crap.
And she looks beautiful.
She's amazing. Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of her, and man, I can remember when I was a little boy, my grandmother telling me stories about Carol Burnett and
my mom.
And she's just absolutely hilarious too, even to this day. But I saw this headline and I was like, man, I got to give this woman props because Jesus, man, 91 years old. Just the fact that she's still active as an actress is impressive. But then you add into the fact that she's actually getting notoriety from awards like the Emmys. It's absolutely insane. In case people are wondering, the record for oldest ever nominee for an Emmy Award was Dick Van Dyke. who was 98 years old when he was nominated for his last Emmy. Just absolutely crazy stuff. Love to see it. Congratulations to Carol Burnett. Maybe I'll reach out and see if she'll be on my show.
Shit, she might be trying to do everything before she dies.
Yeah, you just never know.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
hey, bring that Emmy over here. Fun fact, I've never interviewed an Emmy Award winner before, so...
First for everything.
Yep. We've got the Grammy, we've got the Tony, we've got the Grammy, Tony, and Oscar. I've got all three of those. I do have a friend that has an Emmy Award, though, so maybe. Next up, I'm going to let Kadie talk about this one. This has been all over the news this week.
I feel like you were going to have be on both sides, mildly. Me, personally, I'm about to be very harsh and probably piss a few people off, but I really don't give a time.
Bring it on. I can't wait.
We're going to talk about that shit-ass National Anthem from Ingrid Andress. I can't. Okay. We've all seen it. We all know what the f*** is going on, but if not, here's your rundown. So she did the National Anthem, and it was, awful. Anyway, she came out and she's apologized and admitted to being drunk while she was performing. God. She said, "I was drunk last night," in a quote. She's also received 4 Grammys, which I didn't know that, and that's pretty mind-boggling.
So Grammy nominations. She actually hasn't won a Grammy, but yeah.
I missed the word.
No, it's okay.
Shit.
Just for the sake of accuracy, they were nominations, not wins. Yeah.
So, speaking of accuracy, Boston was making notes about the movies and shit, and he spelled Babadook wrong, and I went in there. So I feel it. Now you've corrected me.
Throw me under the bus, Kadie Lynn. All right, then.
Okay, so she released a statement saying, "I was drunk last night. I'm checking myself into a facility today to get the help I need. That was not me last night. I apologize to the MLB, all the fans in this country I love so much for that rendition." Dare I read on?
So no, you don't have to. Everybody knows about this.
She also said, "I'll let you know how rehab is. I hear it's super fun."
Yeah. So first of all, I've gone and looked her up and listened to her music, and she's fantastic. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Her music is actually really fucking good. Okay. The reason why I wanted Kadie to lead this one is because Kadie, to my knowledge, I can think of at least a dozen times that you've been asked to do the National Anthem at different venues. So the first thing I wanted to ask you is, how pressure-filled is it as an artist to sing the song? How hard is the song to sing, especially because everybody is looking at you, right? They're not doing other things.
I was talking to Jackson about this, and he was like, Jackson and then some other guy, they were like, "It's not that hard," and it's really not for a guy. But for a female vocalist, that is one of the hardest songs you can sing. I will grant her that. And especially, like, that would have been in the evening, but I remember, like, singing it at the Lone Star Park, the horse races. I had to be there at the ass crack of dawn and be warmed up and ready to sing the worst song ever. Beautiful song. But here's the thing. I have been shit-faced on stage, played for 2 hours. Shit-faced. I did not fucking sound like that.
Okay, but to be fair, being shit-faced on stage in front of a band with people doing other things and all of that is a little bit different than being in front of 40,000 people a cappella with everybody literally standing on their feet looking at nobody but you. That's a bit of a different thing, I think, right?
I've had less people, but same environment a few times. But I don't know. I will grant her it is a hard fucking song. And the delay is awful in the stadium. But They rehearsed that many times. She had to audition for that. Guarantee you. Probably via video. Then they had to see her in person do it. Then I guarantee you they saw her that day. She practiced in the stadium. And then she went on and did it. You cannot tell me. It does not. She was in about 5 different keys. And I'm not talking about pitchy or sharp. Like,
No.
she started, like, here an F. And
There
then she was in A. And then
there
she was
were
in this.
keys that didn't exist yet that she created during that song.
And if you know you're fucking up, dude, damage control. There was none of that. It just got worse.
When I watched it live, my first instinct was, I was like, oh my God, she's blitzed. Like, I was like, there's no way, like, this is
Okay.
this is the All-Star game, bro. Like, it may not be like the world's most viewed event, but there's millions of people watching that shit.
And here's the thing. Being a vocalist, that's a hard fucking song, and you might be having a shit day.
Mm-hmm.
Go up in that head voice. Don't do all those fucking runs. That song is a pretty basic song. A lot of people make it a lot more difficult, which she did. Damage control. Always. Always. I don't know. That is the most mind-boggling thing. She just did not seem to have any, like... That is where I believe she was probably drunk. Because she just kept going and could not think of what to do except for what she had already practiced.
I was just worried because, like, a lot of times when people have these kind of performances and then they blame it on alcohol after, it just seems like an easy cop-out. But
exactly.
But, like, for me, I actually saw this live. Right, and making fun of rehab, too. That didn't really sit well with me either.
No, and really, I'm sorry. The rehab thing is what really, like, because that's like, I have to prove myself. A lot of people, if it's really an actual problem and she's this big, like, she will say I was drunk and I had a problem, but not be like, I'm going to rehab. I'll let you know how rehab is. I bet it's super fun. Like, what?
Yep, piling it on herself, to be fair.
And a lot of people go quiet and, you know, don't talk about that shit and then come out on the other side of it. You know, like, it's not a proud place to be and she's making fun of it.
Mm-hmm. I was laughing because, like, this is the home run derby. Like, it wasn't even the All-Star game, right? It was the home run derby. I was like, man, people haven't talked about the home run derby this much in forever. I've never seen people talking about the home run derby. So then I was like, man, if she's not drunk, then this was all planned. Because, like, now everybody's talking about the home run derby.
I'm sorry. If you are this big of an artist, if you are considered a professional singer, which some people don't, you know, there's some singer-songwriters that are like, I'm not a singer, I'm just here to, you know, express, like, my thoughts. But she's, you know, we would call her a professional singer if we had to put her in a category.
Absolutely.
And I do not believe
Four-time
that is so.
Grammy Award nominee. Like, this woman is highly successful. You don't just get Grammy nominations for being whatever. Koolme, we lost you there.
But also, you can also listen to her music and see her little niche, what she can do. And she doesn't go far beyond that. There's a lot of people, you just can't sing the national anthem. I'm sorry. I can barely sing it. It has to be a damn good day.
And typically with an event of this magnitude, it's going to be somebody who's done it before and done it well,
exactly.
too. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I also blame this on the MLB. I'm sorry. For it to be that bad, there had to have been warning signs.
Absolutely.
Mildly. Mm-hmm. And if there was any question, it should have been pre-recorded and she should have lip-synced it. I'm sorry. They do time. They could have done it for that because now, fuck the game. No one gives a shit about that. Mm-hmm. You know, like, they're idiots for that. And, I mean, that could have saved her ass. Even though, like, I kind of like when people get called out, but...
Yeah. It's unfortunate. But it is what it is. It happens. I just think, like, when it comes to the national anthem, it's more of a powder keg because of patriotism and all of that stuff. But let's see what comes of it. Hopefully she learns from it. Maybe, perhaps, she'll have a team telling her, you know, it's probably not a good look to make fun of rehab after you completely butchered the most popular song in America.
Yeah.
You know.
And, you know, and I'm not knocking her as a singer. I'm just saying I am knocking her as a singer, but what she does, she is good at. But she can't do any more than that, apparently.
All right.
That's all I got.
I was looking forward to this so much just to have Kadie talk about this because
I told you I was gonna piss people off.
no, it's okay. It's okay. I think you speak for a lot of people out there. I was just like I said, if I hadn't seen it live, I would have thought that the whole drunk thing would have been a cop out.
No.
But literally,
believe because there was no damage control. That's why I believe that is true.
Yeah, and I saw it live, and I was like, you know what? I think she's probably blitzed. But yeah.
And she's swaying back and forth and shit.
Oh, she was getting into it, bro. Like, and to be honest, if you go onto TikTok, I know Kadie's not a TikToker, but if you go onto TikTok, they have these people that take like these videos, and then they'll put different music behind it instead of what the actual music was. And so, like, for example, like, there's a TikTok out there where it's the Munchkins on the Yellow Brick Road, and it's like corn or something like that. It's great. But there's a lot of people doing that with with Ingrid or whatever her name is, just adding different music
That's
songs.
the point.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It's great. But so people know her name. So whatever. I guess.
Honestly, and for all the people that didn't know who she was, that's what she's always going to be, and that's sad. But you know,
well, she's gonna have to. She's gonna have to come out of rehab and grow up really fast. To be fair.
Yep.
But anyway, let's get into the weird but true news. This is another segment that we started doing a couple of weeks ago. This week, what we're gonna do? Well, we kind of did this last week too. I'll pick one. Kadie can pick one. And then I don't know. Let me see if I can get Koolme access to this real quick.
I hadn't looked at these yet. Oh, I'm picking mine, and you know that's going to be mine, so you can't have it.
I just sent you that link, Koolme.
Okay, got you.
It's the only one that you're going to look at and be like, yeah, that's for Kadie. So, mine.
Okay, so the one I'm going to pick, the headline is, "My son went to prom inside a body bag. It was a brilliant stunt his classmates will never forget." That's the headline. Here is the story behind it. The gag was dead on arrival. A UK teen. Why do these always happen in the UK, Kadie?
I don't fucking know.
Jesus, man. Every single one of these is in the UK.
All these damn Brits.
Anyway, a UK teen raised eyebrows at his high school prom after arriving at the bash in a body bag as part of a macabre stunt. They'll think of that for years to come, the boy's mom, Laura Jameson, 38, who helped orchestrate the goof, told Kennedy News. Her son, Lucas, who is in the 11th grade, had reportedly wanted to make a memorable entrance at the dance. Okay, why do they have to add pictures to this shit, bro? God damn. There's multiple body bags. What is this? Oh my gosh. Okay, so they get out of the... Okay, so I see what's happening. Anyway, after ruling out hiring a helicopter, the youngster decided on being thrown out of a van like a corpse because, you know, corpses are thrown out of vans all the time. Anyway, and an idea that had been floated by a family friend. Anyway, his mom dubbed it a quote-unquote brilliant idea. "It's always really good to be original and think of something different," gushed the mother of 4 who ordered 3 body bags for Lucas and his 2 friends and balaclava face masks, balaclava, whatever, for the bag transporters in preparation for her son's grand entrance. However, Laura, who is an autism support officer, feared she might get in trouble for procuring such suspicious items, explaining, "If somebody was watching me, I probably would have had the police come round." Yeah, because you're from the UK and you think it's natural.
FBI looking at your search history.
Yeah. I mean, you think it's natural for corpses to be thrown out of vans. What the hell is wrong with these people? Like they throw out of vans is what it says. No. I don't know if that's a thing they do in the UK. If it is, please comment down below.
I saw the pictures. I scrolled past and I was like, man, nah. And then I saw this one, and I'm like,
Well, I mean, I can see why these three boys were dateless at this prom.
I like it, man. I have a nephew. He actually just had a baby, so he's a little more mature now. But I could so see him doing that when he was that age. I could so see him doing that.
Hey, newsflash, Kadie. You don't have to be mature to have a baby. I'm just saying.
I know. He's 6 months younger than me.
All right, Kadie, which one of these are you going to pick?
Do you want to take a wild guess?
Is it the tattooed eyeballs?
I told you, the one that looks like I would pick. Don't do it. Okay.
All right,
so
let's
the
go.
Title, I actually knew about this already. So this person went temporarily blind getting their eyeball tattoos, and they said it was worth it. So, this is Australia's most tattooed woman.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
And she has revealed, I believe she's like on TikTok, like I've seen her shit around, recycled on Instagram. But she has revealed an insane detail about her body art and has some enthusiast. No, I'm kidding. And industry heavyweights descend on Brisbane for the Australian Tattoo Expo. Amber Luke, who calls herself Blue Eyes White Dragon, which, was among the stars who attended Brisbane Expo on Saturday. That was this past Saturday. So, whatever that was, y'all can figure that out. I don't remember the date, and I ain't about to look because I'm already having ADD moments over here. Okay. The event has been held in cities across Australia for the past 15 years, attracting about 60,000 people through its doors each year. It is a big deal. I've heard about all of this shit, and I actually saw this like yesterday. So anyway, she went on her Instagram, featuring her 250 tattoos along with multiple piercings and implants. It's kind of her thing, like on Instagram, and like it's like her whole brand is her tattoos, and
there's no color in her tattoos whatsoever. There's pictures here, and it's all black. There's no color whatsoever.
It's not for everybody that like likes tattoos. She has blackout work like done on her leg. A lot of it is like portraits or like geometrical shit, but she does have a little bit of like full blackout work done.
Yep.
Like her whole. And it looks like white ink or like scarification possibly on top of that blackout. Anyway, she got her eyeballs tattooed at age 22. And the excruciating process rendered her blind for weeks.
Man.
She, oh my God. She said, speaking on the Apollo Show podcast earlier in July, she said the process about taking back something that was never really mine in the first place. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I don't know what the fuck that means. Anyway, so she had them done before, so she returned from Brazil to have them redone. Okay, so that's what I'm assuming. Maybe she means by that.
She went back for more, bro. Like what?
She said, you know what? I may have gone blind for 3 weeks, but it turned out to be quite an okay experience. The way I saw it back then, it botched me for 3 weeks. I really wanted to make that completely separate to what it actually was. I can understand that to an extent. I would never be as modified as her. I would never get that many tattoos like her. I just can't. But I am an enthusiast. I follow like a lot of like pages on like Facebook, like a lot of groups and shit, like heavy body modifications. I'm just interested in all of it. Never would I do it, but I think it's cool, and I like the aesthetic like that people choose for themselves and express themselves. I think it's cool to look at. But I personally could never, and I do get that the temporary pain doesn't outweigh the outcome the forever outcome. I mean, that's how you got to think about any tattoos. Piercings, not necessarily forever, but that's how a lot of people in that like community think, like scarification as well. I don't know if you know what that is, but
I do.
pretty basic. Put two and two together. But like and implants and all these kind of things. Like people go through surgeries to get shit done. Like it gets pretty deep. But so I get it, and I get that I get that mindset, but being blind for 3 weeks,
I can't imagine your eyeballs, bro. Like, no, absolutely not.
And they don't do anything. I've seen videos of like them actually doing it, and the person's just like.
I mean, that's a whole lot of trust to put into somebody else's hands, man.
And no actual, like, you got to go to like some side shit. Not a lot of people will do that. Like, people won't do that.
She said some side shit.
Yeah, that black market tattoo shit.
I know,
like how
I know.
Get black market, like, injections and shit. You got some dude over here in a damn taco truck tattooing eyeballs.
Koolme, do you want to hit us with a story? Have you picked one out?
I have picked one out. Do I just read the article or?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Okay. So this one is. This strip club has a UFO on its roof. Here's the bizarre reason why it's up there.
Oh shit!
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Do it.
Talk about a close encounter. One strip club in Florida is out of this world, and we're not talking about the dancers either. Tampa's aptly named 2001 Odyssey has become a genuine roadside attraction thanks to the massive UFO, complete with colorful lights at night sitting on top of the building. The club's website notes it has been featured in films like The Punisher and the skater video game Tony Hawk's Underground. I did not know that. Mm-hmm. The story of the elaborate piece of the rooftop flare dates back to 1969, the same year Apollo 11 left Cape Canaveral.
Cape Canaveral, yep.
Okay, for the moon, when a Finnish designer introduced the idea of interstellar 500 square foot modular homes designed to evoke an alien craft. They came with a deployable door hatch, porthole like windows and all, but the Futuro concept, dreamed up by Matti Saronen, didn't land well with the public. An underwhelming amount of units were sold stateside, and the business folded in 1975, according to the Tampa Bay Times. Still, Florida Futuro's sales manager Jerry DeLong wanted to believe in the concept. His son Bruce DeLong told the outlet. Jerry was a die-hard lover of the Stanley Kubrick masterpiece, and with partners opened up a strip club in 1970s in tribute to Dave and Hal 9000.
I gotta tell you what I love about these damn stories every week is how many puns are in these stories. It's so funny.
Yep.
like you have to really pay attention to them too, because like where it says didn't land well with the public, right? It's so good, man. So we did cover this story a couple of weeks ago, so Kadie and I know nothing about this story whatsoever.
Gotcha.
But yeah, this is a strip club, I think, in Florida, and I like the story just because there is a random picture of a girl's ass on this page, so there is that.
That's not the reason I chose it, by the way.
Oh, look at that! Look at that UFO! What is that?
I like the colors.
All right, so we're going to get into our main topic for the week. And we're going to try this out. We'll see how it goes. I'm not sure quite what's going to happen here, but we'll find out. We're going to do Australian and British slang. Now, the way this is going to work is I'm going to do Australian slang, and Kadie is going to do British slang. And then, so when Kadie does British, Koolme and I will try to guess what the slang means. And when I do Australian, Kadie and Koolme will try to guess what the Australian slang means. And we'll probably do 5 or 6 of these each. So pick the really good ones. And
I say, if it is a phrase, that you have to do it in the accent.
I mean, I can't do accents, so there is that.
I think you should give it a shot.
Oh, yeah? Well, the first one I'm going to do is the word arvo. Arvo.
Shit, I read that earlier. What did it mean?
So remember, I'm doing Australian now, okay? So
I know.
arvo. Okay. ARVO. What do you guys think that means in Australian?
I remember reading that, and I thought it was stupid as
Parvo. Huh.
It makes me think of Parvo.
No, we're not killing dogs this week. We're trying to get PETA to sponsor us still.
Arva.
I think it's like I feel like it's like a derogatory name. Like
All right,
you're
let's see if I can let's see if I can use it in a sentence and help you guys out. All right, let's see. I had breakfast in the morning and lunch in the
Afternoon.
Arvo. There you go.
I remembered it. I remembered it.
Afternoon.
As soon as you said that.
Arvo means afternoon. Katie, what do you have for British? We'll do 5 of these.
Okay, so I'm just saying this. You're probably gonna guess what it is, but I really want to say it in a British accent, and I really think it's funny. Okay, all piss and wind.
What did you say? Wait a minute, I didn't hear it.
You're just all piss and wind.
You're just all
All
piss
piss
and wind.
and wind.
So, what do you think that means, Koolme?
Full of shit.
That's what I think too. Full of shit.
All talk, no action. All
Yeah,
piss and wind.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. How about all
Liked
right,
it.
back to Australian. How about fair dinkum?
Oh man. There was a dinkum and then there was a fair dinkum. I remember because I glazed over these and I don't remember what the
So
difference
you
was.
weren't supposed to glaze over them, first of all. So
I
you
know.
cheated.
So I got confused. I thought I was supposed to be doing Australian and he was doing
All right.
British.
Let me think if I can think of a sentence to put this in. Let me think.
I mean, dinkum.
No. All right, so the Dallas Cowboys have not won a Super Bowl since the 90s, and that's fair dinkum.
Bullshit.
I'd say it's like okay, thank you, Kitty. She likes to climb in front of the camera. Sorry. I'd say it sounds like a slang for like actual fact, maybe.
It sounds
Yes.
like they're saying, what? Put it in the sentence again.
The Cowboys have not won a Super Bowl since the 90s, and that's fair dinkum.
I feel like
fair.
it's saying like fair because it says fair, but I know that it's not that because I remember them being separate and mildly meaning the same thing.
So Koolme's right on the right track. It means true or genuine.
True, dumbass. It's some shit like that.
No, it's true
I
or
guess.
genuine.
That's
Real.
it.
Yep, true or genuine.
That's
Factual.
it, man. I want to call somebody a dinkum.
No, fair dinkum. Fair dinkum. All right, cool. All right, Katie. What's your second British slang?
Okay, this is not the one because you're not gonna know exactly what it means, but I just scrolled past it. It's under all piss and wind. This one's all tits and teeth.
All tits and teeth? Okay.
Tits and teeth.
All tits and teeth. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to even think
We
what
all
that
know
might
what that
mean.
means.
So my first indication would be like, and I know I'm probably wrong, but fake. Like, I feel like you're calling somebody fake. I'm probably way off base.
So it is a description. I will say that. Of something.
All tits and teeth. Like cow? Like a cow? I don't know. Koolme,
Yeah.
what do you got?
I have no idea.
It's a derogatory description for a woman who succeeds by using her physical attributes rather than her brains. Attractive but shallow, cynically manipulative, or even a stupid woman.
So this is
So
British.
yeah, could be a cow.
It's like real deep British stuff.
It's British slang.
All tits and teeth.
No, teeth shouldn't be part of that. It should be all tits and ass. What is wrong with these people?
It's all tits and teeth.
Okay. Number 3 Australian slang is the word dunny. D-U-N-N-Y. Dunny.
That makes me think of like Dunny. Dunny. Dunny, doesn't he? Dunny.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
All right, I will use it in a sentence. Okay. My family didn't have inside plumbing until the 90s. Before that, we had to use a dunny.
Oh, slang for like a bucket.
Nope.
Was I right, outhouse?
Yep, outhouse is correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
All right, number 3, British
Get out
slang.
my swamp. Sorry.
What do you got for number 3, Katie?
Sorry, I've been watching Shrek lately.
Get out me
And I
swamp.
just immediately thought about that and him kicking the door open. Somebody wants. Okay, anyway. We got an old argy bargy. Argy bargy. It is, and like, so you can understand what I'm saying, it's argy bargy.
I got
Like
what you
argy
say.
dash bargy.
Use it in a sentence.
Man, they really got into an old argy bargy.
Argument.
Yeah. It says an argument or confrontation.
Argy bargy.
They got the good old
Okay,
argy bargy.
this- Oh my god, I love this show so much, bro. Just out of nowhere. Katie, what is wrong with you?
I'm in the time of my life.
Okay. All right, number 4 for me, the word is furphy. Furphy. F-U-R-P-H-Y. Furphy.
Oh. Man.
I want to say like you're dirty.
No.
You're musky, dusty, and crusty.
Musky, dusty, and crusty. No. Furphy. All right, let me think. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I heard that the flamingos are a Asian Florida vehicle that goes forward. And that is a furphy.
Some fucked up damn shit. Is that like a hoopty? Like a fucked up vehicle?
I remember
No.
I remember the flamingo story from the previous episode.
So furphy means it's a false or unreliable rumor. So like the Cowboys are going to be really good at football this year, and that's a furphy.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Thank you. All right, number 4 for Katie, British slang.
Okay, I can't say this. I really don't know if I can say this because it'd be very offensive, but it's so fucking funny. God. So, it's what it is, and then so it's supposed to be offensive and derogatory term. An arse bandit.
God damn it, bro.
It literally is just talking about a gay person. It just says homosexual.
Oh my god. Oh, an arse bandit.
I was gonna say like underwear stealer.
I was going to say like a doctor that does liposuction.
It literally just says homosexual under it.
Oh, I got to get some of this fat taken out of my arse by the arse bandit. All right, last one, Australian slang. Oh, my God. Man, arse bandit could be literally anything. I love that. Okay, let me see here. How about a bludger?
Somebody that's all like just like a blubbering dumbass, like a cocky motherfucker.
You're very close, but no.
I'm thinking like, before you put it in a sentence, I'm just thinking of like Bludger from Harry Potter, the freaking crazy, that was on the same page, like crazy, just crazy antics or crazy talking.
So let me try to use it in a sentence and see if you guys change your mind. My son hasn't done a damn thing all winter. He's such a frickin' bludger.
Lazy sack of shit.
You got it. Yep, a lazy person is what bludger means.
Okay. I switched to another thing that I have to see like highlights because I was on Wikipedia and there's fucking a million. I was literally only in the A's. That's where so
I'm just like, I'm going to have to pull out a TikTok just for the argy bargy. That was great.
there was one that I saw in the Australian earlier and I just fucking lost it, man. I don't remember what it was. Oh, well, we know all the F's are fucked.
Okay, pick one then. You're a much better accent doer than me, too.
No, I'm not. All these make sense.
I promise you are. All of these make sense? That's awful.
Yeah, if I tell you these, you're gonna be. If I tell you guys these, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that. Hampton.
I don't know why your British accent is so funny to me. All right, use it in a sentence.
First of all, hold on. I want to. It's talking about an object.
Okay.
So I want to know what y'all's first reaction is to that before I just fucking sling this shit out here.
Hampton. A toilet. Dildo. Okay, I like it. I can't even think of it. Like, yeah, I can't even think of it.
And we put in a sentence.
Yeah.
Man, that's a really fucking big Hampton.
Oh. Wiener?
It literally just says penis.
I'm going to have to use that on the wife tonight.
It says rhyming slang from Hampton Wick, prick, and Hampton Rock, cock. I don't know what the fuck is that shit.
Oh, I know what that is. It's Cockney slang is what that is.
Okay. Hampton means penis.
Yeah. That's you're opening up a whole new can of worms. Like, let's not even go down that road.
Let's not go get the Hampton Rock cock.
So, guys, that is our main event this week. A little bit something different. Usually we talk about something extremely serious as our main event topic. But this week I thought it would be fun to do Australian slang, British slang. What is your favorite slang word out there from a different country? And we'll see if we can't guess what it might be in the comment section. So comment down below. Again, Koolme, thank you so much for being our guest this week from the Babble Mouth Podcast and from Twitch TV /Koolme666.
Thank you for having me on.
My favorite streamer on the platform, and I've been telling you that for a long time, so you know I'm genuine in saying that.
Yes.
Even though he's known ginormous longer than me, sadly.
You're getting up there.
I'm number 2 at least, perhaps. Maybe Ross is ahead of me too. I don't know. I might be third.
You and Nexus are up there.
Yeah, yeah. I've known Nexus for a long time as well. Not as long as you, but yeah, I've known Nexus for a long time. And Nexus, I know you're probably gonna watch this. Stop crying. We will have you on too. You just let me know when, and we will have you here. This isn't about liking Koolme more, even though I kind of do. But when it comes to you and Koolme, you're second place, which is not bad. It's not bad. But no, for real. I will be the first to admit that Nexus is the founder of the Babble Mouth Podcast, and I do want to have Nexus on the show as well. I think he would be a lot of fun to have on, and he's hilarious. And honestly, the oil that makes the Babble Mouth Podcast go, I think, right?
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, he's definitely. He's gonna like that I say this. He's definitely the leader, and you know, yeah.
Clip it.
He makes everything. He makes everything in the mode go into motion.
Clip it.
I'm just there.
So remind everybody where they can find the Babble Mouth Podcast everywhere but Pandora, right?
Everywhere but Pandora. Just a correction. The Babble Mouth Podcast actually sounds like a better name than the Babble Mouth Podcast.
God damn it!
But it's actually a creative name. But it's the Babble Mouth Podcast.
I do have a reason for that. I was actually listening to a podcast earlier today called Blabbermouth. God damn it. That's why.
It's okay.
It is the Babble Mouth Podcast. I would know because I am a follower of the Babble Mouth Podcast on Spotify. Yes. And the pod comes out every Friday morning.
Right. We're on a break right now. We took a break to get ready for season 3. The plan was to do a recording here when everybody was visiting. That didn't go as planned. We were just too busy and doing other things. So we did take a new artwork screenshot. That'll be available really soon because we used the AI for the artwork and we want to do an actual original picture for us. So we did a funny take on a specific music group from back in the day.
Nice.
And that's going to be our artwork from now on. Once they work on the Photoshop and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure you'll recognize it when you see it. It's kind of going to be our theme. But we're taking a break off until season 3. We're going to go hard on that. Try and have some guests actually this time. About I think it's August 2nd when we're going to start back up again. And then we have another podcast within that podcast called New Game Plus, where we just kind of talk about games and stuff like that. We try to keep that gaming related rather than the actual Babble Mouth podcast. We want to keep it just mostly everything but gaming. So we have that separate we're still working on it. It's still a work in progress. We have 2 episodes of that. Game reviews or just different lore things that we want to talk about video game wise. If you're curious, never played that specific game or something like that, that's kind of like the idea of what we're going with for that series. So yeah, we will be back August 2nd with new episodes on Fridays.
And again, Babble Mouth is every Friday. Go ahead, Katie.
I just said hell yeah.
Yeah. I just want to tell people out there too that Koolme is super chill, super busy, puts out a lot of stuff. Not just on, the pods that he does, his Twitch channel. He has a daily vlog on his YouTube channel as well, which you can also find at Koolme666, which is right there on your screen. It's right there at Koolme666. It's been there the entire episode. So just click on that or find him, follow along. His daily vlogs are amazing, and I'm just going to say, first of all, I love to see you happy. I enjoyed watching you and your boys hanging out the last week. And hopefully that can be us someday, whether you come here or I come there. But yeah, it's good to see you happy. You and I talk about mental health a lot, not just in public, but also behind the scenes. We both struggle with it, and I just wanted to thank you publicly, face to face, for your encouragement, your advice, your friendship, just you being there for me. I hope I can do half of that for you that you do for me.
Yep.
And I love the vlogs. I hope you keep doing them. And just don't give a shit about how many people are watching or who's watching. But I can tell that it's making a difference with your mental health, and I love that. So keep doing it. And I implore people out there, if you are struggling with mental health in any way, I would suggest putting yourself out there. Because sometimes when you are struggling with depression or PTSD or anxiety or imposter syndrome or any of those things, and you may not have somebody in your corner that can talk you out of those places, sometimes the best thing you can do is to put yourself out there. Be vulnerable. Be who you are. And talk to your phone like it is a friend. It sounds silly, but when you hit that video button and the record button and you're just talking to your phone, you will never understand how therapeutic that can be. I don't know about you, Koolme, but whenever I do those kinds of things, I feel so much better about my outlook for life after I hit the stop button. And it's tough to do that and then put it out there because, you know, your mental health tells you that nobody cares.
No, exactly. Yeah. And I struggle daily with it, and not to make the podcast longer, but just in general, I struggle a lot with that daily. And I was in a dark place years ago, and where I thought I wasn't gonna make it out, and it's hard for me to see the improvements I've been having over the years because I can't see from the outside. Other people could see that. Just and the vlogs help me to just talk to myself, and maybe it might help somebody else in the process. Because we're not alone, and that's why I stream, because I connect with a lot of people on Twitch or just in general online who are possibly going through the same thing that I am. And it makes me feel, that much better if I could help somebody else, be happy or just smile for, a second to let them know, that they're cared for in some way, shape, or form. And, with my experience of almost having died in December, I think I've changed my outlook on life a little bit of, you know, just trying to enjoy every day I can, because I might not get another chance, so I'm trying to just take it day by day, and just realize, that I'm not guaranteed tomorrow, and I'm going to make every day count, every second count as best as I can, whether that's me being sad and depressed, it's not a switch, it's not something I could turn on and off, just when it happens, and, when it doesn't, it doesn't. So
it's so hard to take your own advice, isn't it? Like when you're giving advice,
very.
it's so much easier
Very.
to tell somebody else what they should or shouldn't do with their situation, when they're dealing with the same thing that we are dealing with. It's so hard to be a light for other people when it's so dark in your own soul,
Yeah.
It really truly is. But Koolme, thank you so much for being on the show. Kadie, what do you have coming up the next couple of weeks? I know you're uber busy all the time with lessons and things. What's on the agenda?
More lessons, more work. Well, I do have a show, but I believe this is coming out that day. So if you check it and you're around, it'll come out on the 2nd, right?
I
This
don't
one?
know. I have no idea. I just work here. I'm so lost when it comes to all of these shows, man.
Well, if it is, I'm playing at the Oasis in Midlothian.
Well, here's what I'm going to suggest everybody do. That way, Kadie and I can just forget about the whole dates thing, right? So here's what you do. Right there on your screen, you will see @Kadie Robertson. Go to there, hit the follow button, hit the like button, go to KadieLynn.com, or is it KadieLynnmusic.com? It's just Kadie
It's
Lynn, right?
KadieLynn.com.
KadieLynn.com. Get over there. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, go to a show. Hopefully she will show up, and if she doesn't, she'll let us know ahead of...
Stop it! Don't do that to me. Look, and I had a sad moment because I had to take my car to Ryan to get it fixed, and it was right across the street, and I was like, "I'm sorry."
Felt bad again.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, follow along with this young lady. She is uber talented and one of my best friends in the whole world. And this is always a highlight of my week. I thank you for doing it with me.
Always.
And we are crazy and all of that. Koolme, we're gonna have you back on in the future if you're down.
Absolutely.
This was a lot of fun with you as well.
I had fun.
For sure.
I implore you guys to follow that man. He is super talented, super positive,
Thank you.
super chill, always fun, always smiling. I can always tell when he's not having a good day. I'm one of the few, I think, that can do that. Like, I'll come into the stream and I'll know something's up, and I'm always in Discord. Okay, tell me what's going on. Yep. But man, I love you, brother. Like, I don't want to say like a son, but like a little brother for sure. Yep. But guys, thanks for watching another show here on the Chris and Kadie Show under the Boston Chris Show umbrella. I appreciate everybody who tunes into this show each and every single week. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify. We didn't have an Aussie sighting today. What's the kitty cat's name?
That is Kylo.
Kylo, welcome to the show. You guys can find us at, well, it's really the Boston Chris Show everywhere. On YouTube, the Boston Chris Show. Spotify, it's the Chris and Kadie Show. We also have the other podcast, which is 10 Minutes with Boston Chris, which is kind of an interview talk show style show. And lots of stuff going on. The email is the Chris and Kadie Show. If you have any questions about sponsorship, if you want to add topics to our show, if you have personal questions for me or Kadie, suggestions, comments, all of those things, the email again is the Chris and Kadie Show, all spelled out, @gmail.com. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you guys down the road, and have a great week.